a lot's happened. We haven't been here for about a week and a half because of last week's vault, which was absolutely sick. With Dustin Poirier, we had, what do you call it? Gary Kasparov, who crushed it, Billy by the way. The message he had against communism was fascinating. And then we had Billy Bean there talking about data. We had, who else? I'm forgetting. Phil spoke.
Your friend.
Greg Shear talking about private equity.
Phil crushed it.
Phil absolutely crushed it. And then, you know, 1,000 people in the room. 1,000 people in the room. We had a nice party at the yacht. Then afterwards, we had a nice party at the house a couple nights ago. You know, the place was unreal. But the most common conversation, people were there to find out how to take their businesses to the next level, right?
That's right.
One of the most common conversations that everybody was talking about is how afraid they were about freedom and capitalism. So cameras off, there's no cameras. We're talking at the restaurant. Hey, Pat, what do you think about what's going to happen with freedom? What do you think is what's going to happen with capitalism? What do you think what's going to happen? These are people from around the world that are all having the same types of conversations about what we're going to be doing. But Gary got up and Gary delivered a message. He called out Putin. He called out everybody with no restriction. He didn't hold anything back because he ran in 08 against Putin. Here's the GOAT of chess. You're talking about a guy that played chess for what? He was number one for 250-something months in a row. I've never heard of anybody being number one 255 months in a row. That's over 21 years where think about all the GOATs of all time. Who has ever been first place for 255 months in poker, in tennis, in basketball, in baseball? I've never heard of anybody. Now, the credit to chess players, you can't get a knee injury. It's not going to get you're not going to your elbows out. You know, I got to get some kind of a treatment. But at the same time, the mental fortitude to be able to stay that. But
I love that question you asked him. By the way, you said you talk about you can have a knee blowout, but you know, sports, you know, everything that's happened with you. But in chess,
how did he get
it's
injured?
all up here.
Yeah, he did.
And his answer was, look, at some point after 20 years of being on top,
it doesn't matter anymore.
You just get kind of bored.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. I thought it was interesting. And then I said, so politics, any aspirations for politics? He's like, no, I don't do politics. I don't do politics.
That was on stage.
On stage. So what do you mean you don't do politics? We had a good conversation in the back.
Would you share that conversation?
The one in the back?
Yeah, it was pretty
I'll share a part of it. But I asked him, I said, what are you doing?
Right.
He says, what do you mean, what am I doing? I said, what are you doing? I said, what was this all about? He says, I don't understand the question. I said, you have a message that the world needs to hear about.
Right.
You're a 7-year-old kid in Russia under a communistic regime that becomes a phenom. The entire time you think America is the worst country in the world, then you get a flavor of capitalism at 13 years old. Then you realize how amazing capitalism is. Then you come back and you win for your country. You are one of a few people who was able to make it because chess in Russia is seen as, you know, it's like
one of their main
I said, now you got a message with all the mess going on in the world and you want to stay quiet? He says, well, I tweet, I write. I said, no, that's not enough, man. You got to do something. Yeah. So he says, what do you think we should do? Anyways, he sent you an email, which you guys are doing something together in October. Yeah. But anyways, it was good because more and more, you would be amazed how many people around the world support capitalism. I had a tweet that went out today about the fact that, you know, why I love capitalism. I said, here's a kid, Valuetainment put it up. What was the messaging? Let me see if I have it here. If you want to pull it up, Kai. And then a guy responds back, and this is the one messaging that gets heat sometimes. Let me see where this is, Kai. If you pull it up. Okay, why I love capitalism. It says capitalism allowed an immigrant like me with zero generational wealth, zero privileges, and a 1.8 GPA to my dreams become a reality. The only privilege I need was the fact that my parents sacrificed everything to bring us to U.S., right? The rest was on me. So then a guy responds back and he says, capitalism works if you have capital to start off with, right? If you have capital.
You must not be able to read.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy responds back and he says, capitalism only works if you have capitalism to start off with. And I said, not true. I started off with zero, no generational wealth. Dad was a 99-cent store cashier. Mom went back to Iran because she ran out of money. I saved every penny I could at my jobs instead of partying in order to one day start a business. Others can do the same. There's this notion that capitalism only benefits the rich. Capitalism only benefits, you know, the few. But at the end of the day, it's the greatest economical system that allows anybody with whatever skin color you have, whatever nationality, whatever religion. We're at the event. You're having all these conversations. I cannot tell you how big of a Muslim population we had at the event.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Muslim capitalists were at the event.
Our friend Tamara.
Just crying from stage, emotional. One girl got up, she was crying, saying, as a Muslim from Azerbaijan, I cannot wait. She says, I'm willing to sacrifice my own life to finish and end communism.
Wow.
A
Young
Muslim.
female,
This
young
makes
female.
no sense.
No.
There was one Muslim girl who Mario saw and says, hey, can I give you a hug? She says, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. She's that devout to her religion, but supports capitalism. It doesn't matter what educational level you were at, what part of the world, what nationality. It looked like the United Nations were there, except they were there to support capitalism. It was a beautiful thing to see
12
taking
different
place.
countries, I believe.
Yeah, 12 different.
Including
During COVID.
During
COVID. By the way, one of our biggest audiences is Australia. They couldn't come out.
Right. They're locked
One of
down.
our biggest, we have Italy that was one of our biggest, couldn't come out. Germany, so many different places couldn't come out.
There's a guy from Germany that got denied visa 3 times.
Yeah.
And he got in the 4th. He went to the embassy. They told him no. He changed the
One
format.
guy-
He applied again.
One guy flew from, I don't know what it was, I don't know where it was from.
No, I
He
think it was
flew.
Netherlands, maybe.
He flew to one country, then they send him back. He flew to another country, then they send him back. Then he flew to Istanbul to try to go from Istanbul to Central America to come to U.S. In Istanbul, they hold him back. He's about to get on a flight. They send him back. He wasn't able to make the event. 3 different ways he tried to come out. I mean, it's a mess right now around the world with what's going on. We got obviously a lot of stories to cover. It's good to be back. Update on BizDoc. BizDoc is doing very good. He's making a lot of progress. I'm happy for him. It was a very positive news yesterday. He was in ICU with pneumonia, but he's doing better.
Damn.
Shout out to
And,
BizDoc.
yeah, absolutely, man. Everybody that's been praying for him or meditating, praying or meditating.
Sending positive thoughts.
Sending positive thoughts and vibes. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.